Are you running on joy or are you running on coffee? It is important in these days and times that we are allowing ourselves the opportunity to increase our joy, to allow ourselves to have joy to the point that it overflows. So that some days when things don't go our way or when we feel frustrated or at a loss for words at certain times, we are still allowing ourselves to go and flow off of the reserves of joy that we have. Because a lot of times in situations and circumstances that come our way, sometimes we can lose out on that joy, lose sight of that joy. Not necessarily that joy is completely fleeting and it is completely gone. It is that we have not tapped into that joy. Hello, I'm Dr. Keshia Keith, and I am here to help you grow through the dry places. What is joy? What does joy look like? How are we able to allow ourselves in any situation and circumstance to be able to continue to move, to be able to continue to do those things that are necessary and essential? It is how we are looking at things. What are we doing? What is our routine? What is our rhythm and our focus on every day? How are we allowing ourselves to be pouring into? How's that joy just going into us and overshadowing and overtaking all the things that might be difficult, all the things that might be frustrating, all the things that might be creating chaos and confusion and all the things, and we just feel like everything is just going. Feels like a whirlwind in here because so many things are impacting us, so many things are frustrating us, so many things are creating just all of this feeling of negativity, all of this feeling of woe is me, all of this feeling of, I'm just tired, I'm just gonna sit it out today. All those things we feel, all those things we experience, it's important that we allow ourselves that opportunity to continue to cultivate that joy. That cultivation, it really puts me in the mindset of a garden, right? A person who's growing a garden, they have allowed themselves to do a couple of things. They dug the ground up, they put that seed in there. And then putting that seed in there, they might have put a little bit of fertilizer in there. Then they watered it because they wanted to make sure that it was hydrated, making sure that that seed has all of the things, the ingredients that it needs in order to one day sprout up and spring forth some type of fruit. But in that space, it is in the digging in the ground. It is, you got to unearth some stuff because a lot of times that ground is already initially, sometimes it's rocky, sometimes that soil is rocky, sometimes that soil is really, really dry and parched because it just has all that direct sunlight that's hitting it all the time. And it can definitely dehydrate things. It can definitely make that ground really, really rigid, really, really dry, really, really make that soil just like really crumbly. And that's just like with our joy. We have to be able to be in a mindset that understands that there's some things in us that are rocky. So we got to turn that over. We got to turn that soil. We got to be able to kind of cultivate it and allow it to get a little bit softer. So how do we do that? We do that by showing ourselves love, showing ourselves consideration, being kind to ourselves, being the friend to ourselves that we need sometimes, being the friend that we are a lot of times to other people. All the things that we are saying to other people, how we are encouraging them, uplifting them, and all of that, we got to stand in the mirror sometimes and we got to say those things to ourselves. We have to remind ourselves of who we are as well, because a lot of times we can lose sight of who we are because we are being everything for everybody, but we are not allowing ourselves to be poured back into. We are not allowing purposeful time for us to recharge, refuel, and refocus. That is going to make all the difference. So continue and go through that process as you were turning over that soil and tilling, because then you got to get some watering in there. And in that watering, what is that watering? That watering becomes those things that you have to remind yourself of who God says you are, because those things are what are true. Everything else you see out here or hear out here or whatever is going on might be a lie because it's just maybe a facade, or maybe you don't know the behind the scenes story. So you don't know whatever is going on, if it's fact or fiction, but in your life, you know this. You know that whatever God says to you, that He is not a man that He can lie. So if He says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, then absolutely you are. He says that greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world, then absolutely that is true, because he is the greater one. He will stand up inside of you and in you and for you, but you got to give him the ability and the opportunity to do that. So that becomes you allowing those words, you allowing those things to give you the water, to give you the hydration that you will need. He is preparing you for a set time, but you got to get that soil tilled. You got to get that water in there. You got to allow that seed to be able to grow. So you got to be cultivating those things. You've got to be allowing those things to be in that environment. So every day you are purposing to be in the environment where that seed will grow, where that joy will flourish, where even if things are just going haywire and you can't even see your way through, you are allowing yourself every day to get up and show up and dress up and never give up, because in these moments you are cultivating and you are continuing to allow that joy to grow, so that even when the difficult times come, it's not that you're going to be like, oh, I am like just strong as I don't know what. Strong and strength, we have to be able to re-identify and reassess, because strength is being able to acknowledge that I am feeling weary, I am feeling tired, I am feeling sad, I am feeling angry, I'm feeling frustrated, whatever that is I'm feeling, and allow yourself in those moments to experience whatever that is. So if that's sadness and that sadness causes you to cry, allow yourself to cry. Give yourself space and opportunity to be able to do that. Put in your schedule somewhere, blocking off time that allows you to be able to give yourself about 20 minutes on a timer so that you can cry, so that you can release that emotion, so that you can allow your body to release that, so that it is not holding on to it and creating that dryness that ground has when it comes to some of the things and the pressures and the weights and the emotions that you are saying, I'm going to pack away for another day because I don't have time right now. But wait a minute. If you pass out, you can't do any of those things. So stop, wait a minute, allow yourself to feel what you need to feel in order for you to be able to heal. So this is you allowing all of that dryness to come out so that you can continue. Make sure that that soil is ready for that seed so that it continues in the flourishing process, because that is what self-care is all about. That is what self-love is all about. That is what being able to give to yourself, what you are giving others, is all about. You can't feel it, you can't heal it, because all it is doing is going in with no exit. And it's gonna just at some point gonna be like you taking a soda and shaking it up, and then expecting when you open it that it's gonna be just regular and you can get ready to drink it. Well, no, there's probably gonna be an explosion and you have to clean up a mess. So in order for you to prevent yourself from having to clean a mess, or having to go back and say, I apologize for the way I said this, or the way I responded, or how I behaved, or because I was frustrated and I never gave myself the opportunity and the time and the space to be able to feel it so that I could heal it, to be able to release that out, to be able to say to myself, it is okay for you to be mad. It is okay for you to be frustrated. What are you mad about? Speak it out. Tell yourself, remind yourself, I'm mad about this. I am not mad about that. How I am doing those things constructively and not destructively will make all the difference. So whenever you feel frustrated, whenever you are feeling tired, when you need strength for the journey, you have to keep remembering that I've got to be cultivating this within. I've got to be allowing that joy to come in so that it overflows, so that even on my rough days, I am in a space where I can still allow that overflow to be the joy that gets me to where I need to be, so that I can take a pause at a point that I then need to make sure that I am going to keep moving forward, to make sure that I am going to continue to grow through the dry places, because it is that is going to make all the difference for you. Today is your day for you to start. Today is your day for you to come up with a plan that will be set in motion so that you can continue to cultivate that joy, so that you can continue to grow, so that you can continue and push through that soil at a point to where you begin to flourish and you begin to produce that fruit that you need. That fruit is your purpose. So you are allowing yourself the opportunity to do those things. So remember this. If by chance something about this has struck you, I want you to go about your day and I want you to remember it. I want you to also share it with a friend. I want you to encourage them to come on over and check us out, because we are encouraging, uplifting, and inspiring over here. We are allowing ourselves to grow through the dry places, because keeping that momentum of moving forward makes all the difference. And it doesn't matter whether it's 1 inch or 1 mile. It is still forward progress when you are trying to do the things that are going to allow you to be better, allow you to do better. So check this next video out, and we will talk with you soon.